Okay, thank everybody for joining us here today. My name is Dennis Davin. I'm the Secretary of the Department of Community and Economic Development. As you all know, the City of Pittsburgh has operated under state oversight for 14 years. In the beginning of 2004, DCED was tasked with management control of the city's finances using the powers enumerated in Act 47, the Municipality Financial Recovery Act. That's the kind of language that we use in government. But you guys, what you wrote was Pittsburgh is distressed, state takes over. Well, that ends today, and it's time to write a new headline. So it's my privilege to inform Governor Wolf, Mayor Peduto, and the citizens of Pittsburgh that this is rescission day. I'm prepared to sign the order releasing the city from Act 47. So for you guys, the headline writers should translate that into Pittsburgh takes back control. So we did not make this decision lightly. It's supported by testimony from Mayor Peduto's administration, Pittsburgh City Council, Act 47 Recovery Team, the Intergovernmental Cooperation Authority, and DCED staff. In the last few weeks, we reviewed documentation and evidence that clearly demonstrate the following. The city has stabilized its finances and now operates with healthy surpluses that are projected to continue. Debt service is reasonable and manageable when compared with the overall budget. Administrators have developed a strategy for fiscal management that pays for the necessary city services like public safety and public works, funds the employee pension plans, invests in capital improvements, and controls costs. That's a tremendous achievement for any community, particularly a city the size of Pittsburgh. So here we are today, and the recovery is complete. Pittsburgh stands as an example of what we can achieve when we work together for the common good. So there are many people in the city and state who deserve credit for this. Too many for me to name and thank personally, but I do want to recognize three people from my team for a minute. Deputy Secretary Rick Valello oversees the work of communities across Pennsylvania. Rick's right here. Rick is the former mayor of Lock Haven, so he understands how difficult this work can be. From our local government center, Deputy Marita Kelly. Where's Marita? Marita's right there. Did a great job on this, along with Michael Foreman. Where's Michael? Michael's right here. Local government specialist. In fact, Marita and Michael, Marita's a Pittsburgh native. Michael lives in the city of Pittsburgh, so for them it was personal. When Governor Wolf appointed me to this position, he set forth several priorities for my agency, one of which was to make sure Pittsburgh had the necessary support from Harrisburg to exit Act 47. I'm extremely proud of the team and everyone here in the city who worked with energy, focus, determination to get us to this point today. With that said, I'm also happy that Governor Wolf has been able to join us as we celebrate Pittsburgh's success and write a new headline. So please join me in welcoming Governor Tom Wolf.
Thank you, Secretary Davin, Dennis. I really appreciate those great words, and I want to thank all of our partners, especially Mayor Bill Peduto. This has been a great bit of success. This is a wonderful achievement for you and for the city. And Rich Fitzgerald, County Executive Fitzgerald, this is a great achievement for the county. Thank you so much to you, Bruce, and your city council, and members of the city council, the business community, organized labor, Secretary Davin, for all your hard work in getting us all to this point. To all of you, and mainly, most importantly, to the citizens of Pittsburgh, congratulations on this great achievement. We've all worked together collaboratively to make this happen, and I can't say how proud I am to be here. We all know how we got here in the first place. Since 2004, Pittsburgh has been classified, up until today, as a distressed city and has dealt with the repercussions of that title. Back then, Pittsburgh was really going through tough times. The city was burdened by slow economic growth, large costs, and was running out of places to pay its bills, out of ways to pay its bills. As a result, Pittsburgh entered Act 47, and since that time has been trying to climb back to fiscal stability. But the Pittsburgh of today is remarkably different than the Pittsburgh of 2004. Through all of your work, you have remade this city. You have brought tech enterprises and global companies to the streets of Pittsburgh. You've become a financial and a cultural titan in the region and in the world. We've transformed a Rust Belt city. You've done this. that was a symbol of economic decline into one of the most dynamic examples of innovation in the new economy in the world. And this turnaround hasn't been easy. It took a lot of hard work, a lot of collaboration, and it took some constructive arguments, some debates. But in the face of it all, Pittsburgh stood united, desperately working to improve its stability and its financial health. My administration, as Secretary Davin said, has closely partnered with you on these efforts, and we've done all that we can do to provide the help, support, guidance that has led us to this day. Together, we have gotten this job done, and now we're on the cusp of a new era for the city of Pittsburgh. That turnaround is absolutely incredible. In just 14 years, Pittsburgh has changed the destiny of an entire region. No city better illustrates the story of the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. That story is one of grit, of perseverance through tough times, an emergence from those tough times as a united front ready to contribute to shape the world economy. I could not be prouder to be part of this effort, and I could not be prouder of the work that all of you have done to help us all get to this day. We will continue to work together, I vow to you, to ensure that the economy of this city and this region remains strong. We know that we still have work to do to ensure that all the residents of this city share in the prosperity we've been able to create. So I pledge to continue to partner with Mayor Peduto and to use all the resources I have available to continue to drive down unemployment, create new job opportunities, and continue to build the economic prosperity of all the communities within the Pittsburgh area. I want to thank all of our partners in this city and in this region. And without the work of Bill Peduto, Mayor Peduto, and County Executive Rich Fitzgerald, none of this would have been possible. Without the support of City Council, the business, and the nonprofit community, again, labor, organized labor, and the citizens of this city, we would not be here to celebrate this important step. So, let's not delay any longer. I'm going to sign this, and then the mayor is going to say a few words. So let me go back to the desk, sign this, and officially make sure Pittsburgh is out of Act 47. And with that, it's done.
Governor Wolf, Secretary Davin, Pittsburgh is back. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of emotion, not only in this building but throughout the city. And to be honest, the only reason that we're even here is because of the way that Pittsburghers are able to do things together. Going back to 2003, we had a city whose structural deficit, meaning every year the inability to have the money to pay the bills, was one out of every $4. $100 million deficit for a $400 million budget. And not only that, but we were faced with nearly 20% of our budget just going to paying off debt. In other words, we were in a situation where we had borrowed for decades and decades, and our credit card bills were all maxed out. And during that time, there were a lot of people who basically believed that Pittsburgh would never come back, that it was not only on the cusp of financial bankruptcy, but on top of the economic collapse that we witnessed throughout the 80s and the 90s, that Pittsburgh's days were in the past. We stand here today with a completely different view of this city. And it's because of the teamwork of the people that are in this room and the people that are in our neighborhoods that believed and never gave up on this city, that we are now looking ahead as the best days of this city are still in front of us. We didn't have that opportunity. For those that are new to this city, for those that are moving here because it's the place that has the buzz around it, they see change happening and they're worried because there's growth that is occurring. But you ask anybody who was born and raised in this city, the ones that went through the economic collapse of the 80s, the ones that went through the times when their friends and their families left for better places, and you ask them about the change that's occurring, and they're excited. They see it as it's finally happening. This wonderful city, this place that we didn't give up on in the 80s and the 90s, but we all put our backs down and rolled up our sleeves and went to work to try to find out a way to make it come back, has now come back. And this is just one little indication of it. What's really the bigger indication is when you go into the neighborhoods and you see people investing in properties that they haven't invested in before. You see markets emerging and new jobs being created and people being able to apply for them and not having to leave to go to North Carolina or Washington, D.C. or Phoenix to be able to get a job, but to be able to get a job right here at home. And you see it expanding around us. And now city government is stable. We have financial stability to be able to do even more. And I have to thank our partners in Harrisburg. I have to thank the ones going back all the way back to 2003, who are willing to take some pretty risky votes, especially those that represent suburban areas. The ones that had to say that it's going to come at a cost because we've got to stabilize the heart of this region, and those that were able to get it done. That partnership has continued for these 14 years and has led us to where we're at. I have to thank City Council. I have to thank the council members who took votes over these past 14 years that they had to go back and explain to their constituents why they were doing it. But they knew they were doing it for the right reason. And I have to mention 4 names: Salah Udine, Doug Shields, Alan Hertzberg, and Gene Riccardi. Those that put their own careers on the line back in 2003 in order to be able to do what was right for the future of Pittsburgh, not the present day. I have to thank our labor unions, the ones that took it, the ones that understood that, yeah, the pay raises will not be able to meet inflation, but willing to take that sacrifice in order to be able to do the greater good for the city of Pittsburgh. And doing it, yes. Doing it with a heartfelt belief that they were doing it for the good of this city. And now better days are upon us. And I look forward to working with not only those that wear the uniforms, but all of our employees, and making sure that their rewards are there as well. There's so many others that I can thank, but the last one I'll thank are the pros. The ones that were in the trenches, the ones that helped to guide us through this, the ones who understood the city's finances without politics, the ones that actually were able to guide us and to give us data in order to make informed decisions, and the ones that never gave up on Pittsburgh, the ones that always said, yeah, there's a way out of this. It's going to be hard. It's going to require sacrifice. It's going to require we all put in a little bit more and get a little bit less. But there is hope for this city, because without that hope, this city would never have been where we're at today. So to everyone in this room, thank you. To the people of this city who have put up with 14 years of oversight, thank you. And to the promise of a future Pittsburgh that we will hand to a next generation, the best days of Pittsburgh are still ahead.